Certain Kia and Hyundai engines are more likely to catch on fire, putting everyone on the road in danger.
ABC Action News I-Team investigator Jackie Calloway first exposed the problem, triggering a...
Your car seems fine until smoke rises, flames follow, and it's too late. One simple mistake can turn a quiet ride into a nightmare. It's the #1 reason engines burst into fire, and most people do not even know they're doing it. Could you be making the same deadly mistake too? Join us as we find out the cause. Number 10. Car crashes. Car accidents can cause more harm than meets the eye. New cars have good safety features like the crumple zone, which absorbs the impact in a crash. This zone protects vital components such as the engine, battery, and fuel tank from damage. However, not all accidents are minor or uncomplicated. Occasionally, the force of the impact is so great that the car's framework cannot withstand it. In such cases, hazardous situations can develop rapidly. For instance, the collision could result in the leakage of fluids such as oil, fuel, or coolant. Simultaneously, the engine or other components of the vehicle could become extremely hot. When heat combines with flammable liquids, the potential for a fire becomes very real. One reason why car accidents are even more dangerous is because those inside the car may not immediately realize how severe the damage is. It can be difficult to detect if the car is leaking or smoking from inside. Feeling stunned, perplexed, or injured, you may not be aware of the level of danger you are in. This is why it is crucial to exit the car promptly after a collision, unless you are trapped or injured. Even if the car appears fine on the outside, there may be hidden damage that could cause a fire shortly after. Fires can start off small but spread rapidly. The flames can increase in size quickly, and dense smoke can make it difficult to breathe or see. This is why every moment counts. If you can move, do it immediately. Exit the car and go a safe distance. Don't wait for a fire to start. It's safer to be far away from the car, even if there is no danger, than to stay inside. A car can be replaced, but not your life. In numerous accidents, individuals survive the initial impact, but sustain injuries later on due to delayed evacuation. This is why safety professionals advise promptly exiting a damaged vehicle if possible. Staying attentive and choosing to move away swiftly could potentially prevent a tragedy. Even if nothing happens, you have still made a wise choice for your safety. Number 9. Poor maintenance. Danger can sometimes sneak up on us without any obvious signs. It can quietly develop in unexpected places. When it comes to cars, the significance of regular maintenance is often overlooked. People tend to disregard it not because they are careless, but because they are busy and the little things are easily missed. However, this negligence can accumulate over time and lead to serious risks, such as the risk of a fire. A car fire typically doesn't begin with someone intentionally lighting a match and throwing it into the gas tank. Instead, it usually starts quietly from a small unnoticed issue such as a broken part, leaking seal, or faulty wire. These issues may seem insignificant initially, but they get worse over time and create an ideal environment for a fire to start. The top reason for vehicle fires is not an accident or a sudden spark. It is actually mechanical failure, which means something in the car did not function correctly. This could be due to a belt breaking, oil leaking, or wires wearing down. These issues may not be immediately obvious, but they can lead to major problems. Older vehicles have a higher chance of experiencing problems. As cars get older, their components deteriorate. The rubber in the car dries up, the metal rusts, and the wiring becomes more fragile. If the driver neglects to inspect the car regularly, they may not realize that something is wrong. However, any leak, damage, or unusual odor is a warning sign. The engine might be leaking flammable fluids, or the wires could be close to causing a spark. A minor problem could easily turn into a major catastrophe. Giving your car a quick check doesn't have to take much time. Just pop open the hood and look for any wet spots, burnt smells, or loose wires. You don't have to be a car expert, just pay attention and be cautious. No one expects a fire to start when starting their car, but for those who ignore the warning signs, it can be a serious risk. Fires can occur without warning, and that is why routine maintenance is crucial. Taking a few moments to check your car today can prevent a potential tragedy in the future. Ignoring a car's maintenance can lead to fires starting slowly and unexpectedly. It is important to stay vigilant and proactive in preventing car fires. Number 8. Design flaws. When you hear about a car on fire, you might think it happened due to an accident, a fuel leak, or lack of proper maintenance. However, what if the car actually had a flaw in its design from the beginning? A small mistake that went unnoticed until the car was in use. Although rare, when this does occur, it can pose a serious threat. Many people are unaware that car fires due to design flaws are uncommon. Safety experts in the US state that less than 1% of all car fires are caused by design issues. Car companies rigorously test their vehicles before releasing them to ensure safety, checking everything from brakes to wiring. Engineers understand the potential consequences of even minor design errors. However, occasionally a problem can go unnoticed. For example, if a wire is positioned too near a hot engine component or a battery is not sealed correctly. These minor errors do not immediately cause a fire. A car does not have a specific switch that ignites fires. Nevertheless, under certain circumstances, or rather, in the wrong circumstances, such a small mistake can become a significant hazard. When this happens, it can catch the car manufacturer off guard. Fortunately, car manufacturers are prompt in addressing any defects they come across. When they identify a potential safety concern, they don't hesitate to take action. Instead, they issue what is known as a recall. This is a public alert asking car owners to bring their vehicles in for a complimentary repair. Each car is thoroughly inspected and any issues are resolved before they escalate. This process aims to ensure the safety of individuals and remove hazardous vehicles from circulation. While design-related fires in cars are not common, they can still impact a significant amount of vehicles. From 2012, almost all major car manufacturers have recalled some of their cars due to fire hazards. This includes traditional gas-powered cars and newer electric models. Overall, around 10 million cars wanted to be repaired due to fire issues. Design problems may not immediately cause issues, but they can set the stage for them. This shows that even the most intelligent machines can make errors at times. However, by taking prompt action and conducting careful recalls, these mistakes can be identified before they escalate into disasters. Number 7. Arson. There are multiple causes for a car to unexpectedly catch fire. It may be due to a technical issue or lack of maintenance. However, in some cases, the cause is intentional, such as arson. Arson is a serious crime where someone purposely sets a car on fire. Unfortunately, this crime occurs more frequently than people realize. Why would someone intentionally set a car on fire? The motivations might be unexpected and alarming. Revenge is a major factor. If someone is filled with anger or desires to harm another individual, they might believe that destroying their vehicle will make a powerful statement. This vengeful act, though twisted, may feel like justice to some individuals. A parked car is vulnerable to those seeking to vent their frustrations in a destructive manner. However, seeking revenge is not always the sole motivation for burning cars. In some cases, individuals set vehicles ablaze to conceal other criminal activities. For example, if a crime occurred inside the car and the perpetrators do not want law enforcement to discover any incriminating evidence, they may opt to destroy the vehicle completely. By engulfing the car in flames, they are effectively eliminating any possible traces such as fingerprints, bloodstains, or stolen goods. The intense heat from the fire obliterates almost all potential clues, making it challenging for investigators to piece together the events that transpired. Thus, for those attempting to cover their tracks, arson can appear as a method to evade detection. Some cases of arson stem from simple mischief, where individuals cause trouble for no apparent reason. Young people, in particular, may view it as exciting or daring. They may start fires without considering the potential danger or consequences. This behavior is known as vandalism and can be as hazardous as any other motive for arson. A small fire can quickly escalate into a life-threatening situation, posing a serious risk to both property and lives. Insurance fraud is another type of crime that occurs when an individual deliberately sets fire to their own vehicle and then falsely accuses someone or something else for the damage. The motive behind this act could be financial difficulties or the inability to sell an old vehicle. Despite the potential benefits, engaging in insurance fraud is a dangerous and unlawful activity. Starting a fire in a car is not difficult. This is why investigators consider arson as a possible cause when a car catches fire suddenly. Investigators are trained to search for evidence such as damage to the fuel system or tampered wiring. They carefully examine the evidence to determine if the fire was accidental or intentional. If they find signs of tampering, they understand that the fire was not accidental. If a car is on fire and it wasn't due to an accident, mechanical issue, or neglect, it's possible that someone intentionally set it ablaze. Arson poses a danger because it can be done secretly, but creates a lot of damage in its wake. Number 6. Hybrid and electric vehicle batteries. Tesla was thrilled when the Model S received high praise for its safety features. The public was excited, and Tesla enthusiasts were happy to have a stylish, fast, and safe car. The company confidently promoted the electric design as problem-free compared to older electric and hybrid cars. However, in the fall of 2013, a Tesla Model S unexpectedly caught fire. The event became big news. It wasn't just a regular accident. A Tesla was speeding when it hit something on the road. The object punctured the battery underneath the car. Once the battery was damaged, it caught fire. This showed that even an advanced battery can still burn when there is a problem, despite all the strong claims and promises. This fire caused surprise and made people wonder. People began to question the safety of the car. Tesla tried to reassure everyone by saying that fires like this were not common. However, the image of the fire stayed with people. There have been a few more incidents of Tesla cars catching fire over the years, but they are still rare compared to the number of Teslas on the road. Tesla is not the only company dealing with problems. Chevrolet also encountered issues with over 100,000 volt EVs manufactured between 2017 and 2022. The problem was related to the battery hardware and software. Although most of these vehicles did not catch fire, the risk was significant enough for Chevrolet to conduct a recall. They took action to prevent any potential danger. Many car fires occur when the vehicle is not moving, sometimes even when it's not being charged. It can be frightening, as people normally assume their parked car is safe in a garage or driveway. Electric cars are not the most likely to catch on fire. Hybrid cars, which use both gasoline and electricity, have the highest risk. Gas-powered cars are next in terms of fire risk. Surprisingly, electric-only cars like the Tesla Model S are the least likely to catch fire. However, because there are more gasoline cars on the road, they account for the majority of fires we see. While electric cars carry a risk of catching fire, they are actually safer than people may believe. Safety when driving doesn't solely depend on the type of car or its technology. Occasionally, even a car known for its safety features can still pose unexpected risks. Number 5. Overheating catalytic converters. Most people don't pay attention to the parts underneath their car, but one important part works very hard every time the engine is on. If this part, called the catalytic converter, overheats, it can pose a fire risk. The catalytic converter is a component of your car's exhaust system that runs along the bottom of the vehicle. Its main job is to clean the exhaust gases before they are emitted into the environment by taking harmful substances from the engine's fumes and turning them into less harmful ones. In order to carry out this process, the catalytic converter intentionally heats up. However, if it becomes too hot, it can lead to issues. Typically, a catalytic converter operates at temperatures between 800 and 1000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is already very hot. However, if there is an issue with the car's engine, this heat can increase further. When the engine is not burning fuel properly, such as due to old spark plugs or other malfunctions, excess fuel and pollutants enter the exhaust system. This requires the catalytic converter to work harder than usual to purify the emissions. As the converter performs more tasks, it generates more heat, which can reach temperatures of 1400 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. This level of heat is well above what most car parts are designed to withstand. The intense heat can not only harm the catalytic converter, but also other parts of the vehicle. The concerning aspect is that while the converter itself may not ignite spontaneously, it has the potential to start a fire. If a vehicle is parked over dry grass or close to flammable items, there is a risk of ignition due to the extreme heat emitted by the converter. Additionally, components near the converter that are not designed to withstand high temperatures can melt, catch fire, or create sparks. This can unexpectedly turn a simple drive into a dangerous fire risk. The issue with the converter can gradually get worse. Many drivers may not notice anything strange at first. However, the converter is actually heating up more and more without them realizing. As time passes, it becomes less effective. The increased heat also impacts other parts of the exhaust system and surrounding components like wires and pipes. While a car is designed to handle the normal heat from the converter, it can't handle the additional heat from one that is working too hard. This section of the car may seem quiet and out of sight, but it's important not to overlook it. If it's overworked for an extended period of time, there is a real risk of fire and potential danger. Number 4. Overheating engines. When a car's engine gets too hot, it may appear to be a minor issue at first, but it can escalate quickly and become a serious danger. It is a chain reaction where a small problem can lead to a bigger problem, causing things to spiral out of hand. Initially, the temperature increase under the hood can result in a fire that spreads rapidly. Some individuals don't understand the potential dangers until it is nearly too late. Typically, your car's engine operates at a consistent temperature with the help of oil, coolant, and a functioning radiator. However, if there is a problem such as low coolant or a malfunctioning radiator, the engine can overheat. While it's rare for the engine to catch fire on its own, overheating can lead to dangerous situations. When a car engine becomes too hot, the oil and coolant inside start to heat up as well. These fluids are designed to remain in separate systems, but if the temperature rises too much, they can leak out. This leakage can happen through leaking, dripping, or spraying in areas where they shouldn't be. This issue is more likely to occur when seals, hoses, or gaskets become too hot and stop working properly. Imagine these hot fluids dripping onto parts of the engine that are already very hot, such as the exhaust system. This can lead to fires starting. Most of the activity occurs in the engine bay, which is filled with components that become very hot when the vehicle is in use. If oil or coolant leaks into this area, it can be risky. Oil is particularly dangerous because it can easily ignite when it comes into contact with a hot surface. If a fire starts in the engine bay, it can spread rapidly due to the presence of flammable materials such as wires and plastic covers. Many drivers are fortunate enough to recognize when something is not right before it worsens. For example, they may see the temperature gauge rising too high or notice smoke coming from under the hood. When this happens, they pull over, turn off the car, and wait, which often prevents the situation from escalating. However, there are rare instances when things happen quickly. If there is no warning or the driver ignores the signs, the risk of a fire becomes a serious possibility. Engine overheating can be due to a problem with how the car was built rather than the driver's actions. Some car companies have had to recall many vehicles to address issues like this. They have made changes to the car's software to manage engine temperature more effectively and prevent it from getting too hot. However, in most cases, when a car engine gets too hot, it requires mechanical assistance. It could be due to a damaged thermostat, a malfunctioning radiator fan, or a leaking hose. Regardless of the cause, it should not be overlooked. A small increase in temperature may not seem significant, but if the fluids begin to move to places they shouldn't, it can lead to a fire, something that no driver wants to experience. Monitoring your car's temperature and responding promptly is crucial. It can determine whether you face an easy fix or a major problem. Number 3. Spilled fluids. Underneath the glossy exterior of a car, beyond the comfortable ride and clean paint job, there is a hidden world that most drivers never notice. Inside the engine of every vehicle, there is a complex system of parts working together to make the car run smoothly. However, what makes this area even more dangerous is the presence of potentially flammable liquids flowing through it. When a car is in operation, several fluids are always in motion. These fluids consist of fuel, engine oil, brake fluid, transmission fluid, power steering fluid, and engine coolant. Each fluid has a specific role. Fuel keeps the engine running. Engine oil ensures smooth movement. Brake fluid enables the brakes to function properly. Transmission fluid aids in gear shifts. Coolant prevents overheating. Power steering fluid assists in steering the wheels effortlessly. Collectively, these fluids are essential for the overall performance of the vehicle. However, there is a downside. While these fluids can be useful, they can also be risky. All of them have the potential to catch fire. If any of these fluids escape and come into contact with a heat cause or spark, the consequences can be scary. Typically, these liquids are securely contained within the vehicle, flowing through various pathways. They are not designed to leak without cause. However, if there is a malfunction, such as a broken hose, a faulty part, or a collision, these fluids may start to drip, leading to serious problems. Fires in vehicles often start in the engine bay, where flammable liquids accumulate and the high temperature and activity can easily ignite something. A minor leak in this area can lead to a dangerous sequence of events. However, it doesn't stop there. Some fluids do not remain at the front of the car. For instance, fuel lines and brake fluid extend the entire length of the vehicle. Thus, even if the issue does not originate under the hood, a problem anywhere along the body of the vehicle could result in a fire. If a fuel line underneath the car is harmed or comes into contact with something, a fire could ignite beneath the vehicle without the driver noticing until it spreads. Most drivers don't pay attention to what's going on inside their car's system. They rely on it to work properly. However, there is a fragile balance, keeping everything running smoothly while the car is in motion. If something goes wrong, like a broken seal or a collision, The fluids in the car can become a serious hazard quickly, and once that happens, it's too late to fix it. Number 2. Electrical system failures. Electrical issues and flammable fluid problems are common causes of car fires. Many people don't realize that the wiring in their vehicles can be a hazard. Cars are filled with wires and electrical components that are always active, even when the vehicle is not running. If there is a malfunction, it can quickly become dangerous. The main cause of trouble in cars usually starts in the engine area. Many cars use a typical lead-acid battery, which may seem harmless, but actually contains a significant amount of power. When the battery is being charged and discharged, it produces hydrogen gas. If there is not adequate ventilation, this gas can build up in the engine compartment. Since hydrogen is extremely flammable, a small spark could easily ignite a fire. Consider how a battery powers the entire car. If a wire gets loose or damaged, it could cause a spark. If there's oil, fuel, or even just some vapor nearby, that spark can quickly escalate into a fire. It's important to note that even small sparks can lead to significant issues. However, these dangers are not limited to just the engine part of a vehicle. The electrical system of a car is spread throughout the entire vehicle. Wires are located behind panels, underneath carpets, through doors, and into seats. These wires are responsible for powering various components such as lights, windows, locks, screens, chargers, and more. In fact, some modern seats are powered by electricity for heating and adjustment. There is a significant amount of wiring hidden away in the vehicle that can be easily forgotten about, leading to potential unnoticed issues. Picture a small part of a wire starting to come apart. This could be due to it rubbing against metal when you open a door. As time passes, this spot deteriorates further. Eventually, the protective covering wears away, exposing the wire. At some stage, this area may create a spark. If this occurs close to flammable substances, such as the foam in a seat or carpet padding, a fire could quickly ignite. One issue is that these problems can arise without warning. It may be difficult to detect any unusual smells or signs before it becomes a serious problem. Plus, since the wires are not visible, it can be challenging to know what is happening behind the scenes. Today's cars have more electronic features than ever, leading to increased wiring, power requirements, and potential for malfunctions. A minor spark in the wrong location can trigger a series of issues. Electrical systems in our cars provide us with convenience, but also pose potential risks. If you notice a burning smell or flickering lights, it could indicate a serious problem. Electrical issues can suddenly arise and unexpectedly transform a peaceful drive into a dangerous situation. Number 1. Fuel leak. Fuel system leaks are the primary cause of car fires. They are not only the most frequent reason for vehicle fires, but also one of the most hazardous. Even a small fuel line leak can quickly escalate into flames and smoke, engulfing a car in fire in a matter of minutes. Although it may seem insignificant at first, this quiet problem can become a serious threat with little warning. Many people are aware that cars use fuel, typically gasoline or diesel, to operate. However, they may not consider how the fuel is transported within the vehicle. The fuel moves from the tank to the engine by passing through pipes, hoses, and pumps. During this journey, it comes into contact with various components of the car, including those that are hot, in motion, or electrical. If there is a small leak at any point in this system, the fuel can leak out, posing a safety risk once it is outside the designated pipes and hoses. Gasoline is one of the most flammable fluids found in a car. While other fluids like oil or transmission fluid can also burn in certain situations, gasoline is particularly easy to ignite. It can easily catch fire even when the temperature is very low. Gasoline can ignite at temperatures as low as -45 degrees Fahrenheit. This means that even on a freezing cold day, it only takes a small spark to start a fire. When gasoline reaches a temperature around 495 degrees Fahrenheit, it can ignite on its own without needing a spark. Imagine a small amount of fuel spilling from a damaged hose. It falls onto a hot metal component in the engine. It could come into contact with the engine surface or the exhaust pipe, both of which could be extremely hot. Once the fuel touches these parts, a small flame may ignite. As more fuel leaks out, the fire can quickly spread. Within moments, various materials like wires, plastic, rubber, and insulation under the hood can catch fire. The fire grows rapidly, fueled by the very substance intended to power the vehicle. However, heat is not the only cause of danger. Ignition can also occur from sparks or a lit cigarette coming into contact with fuel. It doesn't require a large amount of fuel to create a significant fire under the right circumstances. This is why it is important to address any fuel system leaks promptly and not overlook them. One possible indication of a fuel leak is the presence of a smell. If you detect a strong gasoline odor in or around your vehicle, it should not be ignored. This scent usually signifies that fuel is leaking from somewhere, whether it's near the tank, under the hood, or along the fuel lines. It is crucial to locate and repair the leak promptly because leaked fuel can pose a fire hazard. The most effective way to stay safe is by ensuring your car is well maintained. Regular maintenance can detect minor issues before they become serious. A mechanic can identify cracked hoses, loose clamps, or rusty lines during a standard checkup. They can change worn-out parts before they begin to leak. This level of maintenance can stop fires from occurring. Be cautious with your car and pay attention to warning signs. Don't overlook any strange smells like gas. Don't delay if you notice any liquid leaking from the car. If you experience signs like poor fuel efficiency, strange engine noises, or difficulty starting the car, it may signal a fuel problem. What do you think is the cause of the engine catching fire? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more celebrity gist. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.